Welcome to another episode of the Back Catalogue podcast. This is the podcast where we, and by we I mean me, Apple, my co-host / co-founder Vincent, we dive into the streaming services. We tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is worth it and what is not. Now we're in Ozploitember. We were in it last week. We're back in it again this week because we're back on our, and I won't say it here because we're family friendly. And Vincent doesn't want to make this explicit. He doesn't want to do any editing because we do this live. We put it out to the airways. You listen to it.
We record this live.
We record this live.
Yeah.
And whoever messed with this microphone, because I'm feeling trapped and entrapped here.
That might be Rick or Porridge.
It could be Rick or Porridge. Now, Vincent, I just want to start off with just, tangential thought and things of that nature. But look, if you haven't seen it already, please go watch The Exorcist review because that's becoming one of our favorite reviews of all time. And just please, if you haven't looked, have a look at the YouTube comments because they go off. And I appreciate all those people who have commented, and I appreciate their time and the effort that they put into commenting on our videos.
And I appreciate the lack of time that they spent watching the actual video.
Well, that's what makes the comments even more special.
That's right. I mean, can you even leave a negative comment on a video after you've watched the video?
You can't do it.
I think YouTube, there's a minimum watch amount. If you go over that, I say sorry.
I wish they brought back the dislike button just for this video. The dislike button's there, but people can't see it.
Oh, people saw that. I'm pretty sure they can see it.
You can't see it.
Can't see it?
I don't think you see it. I don't know if you can see it. But you know what? If there was a dislike button, it would be fantastic. But this is what's more fantastic. The movie that we're doing this week. This is 1975's very own The Man from Hong Kong. Now I'm going to give you some facts and then we'll get into this. This has got the 6.6 out of 10 on the IMDb. It has got the 100% on the Rotten Tomatoes. It's on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. Let me just tell you about some facts here. I just enjoy saying Rotten Tomatoes funny, so that's why I always pause there. This had a budget of $550,000. It made 1.07 Australian, and I'm talking about million Australian dollars, and 1.09 million Hong Kong dollars, which I'm not sure what Hong Kong dollars are, whether they're called something different, but they have.
I think
Hong
it's
Kong
the currency
here.
in Hong Kong.
It is the currency in Hong Kong, and that's correct, and that's just facts for us here. Now, before we get into this, I'm going to give you a synopsis, and I'm going to tell you that this movie has got heads in it, and we'll talk about heads in a little bit. But a Hong Kong policeman who knows kung fu busts an Australian drug lord who's not afraid to fight back. And I don't know about you, but we are here. Let's get into this, Vincent. So I talked about how there's heads, and I've just clicked out of the areas that I need to be on. Yeah. But there are heads in this movie.
Yeah, the only one I actually recognized was, I don't know, I can't even remember his name. I actually don't know anyone's name in this movie. I can't remember anyone's name.
Okay.
But one of the cops with the absolute top tier hair.
The one that's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's man's from Mad Max, the original Mad Max, and the road may or may not be ferries on it.
The road?
Yeah.
Fury Road. Oh, right, yes, of course. And that's Hugh Keays-Byrne.
Hugh Keays-Byrne.
Hugh Keays-Byrne.
And you tell me if that's a first or last name or both. I don't care.
That could be all the names. Now, we also, the other inspector, the other police officer that is in that.
Don't tell me he was on the bill.
Dude, he wasn't on the bill. He was in Mad Max 1. Do you remember Mad Max 1 when you and I talked about the man that came out with no shirt on?
Oh.
Bold dude with a mustache, no shirt. He was like the leader of the unit, and he's got like the BDSM outfit on.
Was that man?
And he's like, Max, you're not mad enough yet because it's not that part of the movie.
Was that the dude that broke his leg?
I think the dude that broke his leg was the guy that died, right?
Yeah.
Not him.
I'm
talking about the bold man with the big moustache.
Oh, the dude who's watering the plants.
Yeah.
He's doing S&M and watering the plants.
He's doing S&M. That's Roger Ward. That is Roger Ward. He. Now, I believe it's him. Now that I'm knocking at him on it, it was him. This guy right here.
That's wild.
So he got yoked between, 1975 and 1979.
Jeez.
Like he was on T, he was on B, he was on everything from A to Z.
He was stacking protein and creatine. I'll tell you that much.
And that makes people built different. And then you won't even believe, we also got Sammo Hung. I don't know if you know Sammo Hung, but he's been in a lot of old Jackie Chan movies like Project A.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Project X, the party movie. I'm talking about Project A. He was also in a movie which I want to find called Encounters of the Spooky Kind. And it's him just doing like kung fu. Like smart. Dude, no. It's him doing kung fu against like
ghosts.
Ghosts and
he's doing it against
ghouls.
ghosts and they're not hitting him. What's going on?
It's a martial arts comedy, is what they say.
Jeez.
But he's in a bunch of movies. He's also in IP Man or Ip Man.
IP? Internet Protocol Man?
Internet Protocol Man. And, Intellectual Property Man. But the one and only, the best, in fact, one of the best James Bond actors, and by James Bond actors, I mean the James Bond, Mr. Lazenby, is in this movie.
Okay.
I'm talking about George Lazenby. He played, I'm gonna see
Willard?
Wilton. Yeah, Wilton. He played.
He was the main bad guy.
He was the main bad guy.
Okay, I remember two of his names.
James Bond on Her Majesty's Service.
So he's British.
He's Australian.
He's Australian in play. He was titular.
Dude, let me tell you about. He was
titular.
He was titular James. James. They said James.
Bro, he pulled a fast one on me.
He did, because apparently he didn't have much acting experience prior to going into James Bond. He said, "I'm a good looking man. I look good in a suit. Put a rollie on my wrist or whatever James Bond wears, and I'll be there." And he was there for one movie, I believe. I believe it was just one movie. And then they were like, "You're not a good actor." And he's like, "Brother, but I've been in it."
But I'm not even British.
He's not even British, and he was on Her Majesty's Service. And he's in this movie. So, like, if you like 1969's Her Majesty's Service, you'll probably like A Man from Hong Kong or The Man from Hong Kong. So I just wanted to hit you with some facts that there's heads in this movie you didn't even know about.
That's facts.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's facts.
This is one of the positive things that this movie has. Now, from there...
Let me tell you.
We're going to get into whether we like this movie.
I'm going to sell you this movie right now.
Sell it.
I'm going to sell you this movie right now. It's we got kung fu.
This kung fu.
B grade kung fu. At that, we're talking. It's detective. He's just going around piecing people up. He's saying I'm a police officer, but he's a piece. I'm a piece you up officer.
Yeah.
And then there's 15 minutes and he's just on a horse. You know what? That's a movie.
That's a movie.
That's a movie, and that's what They're talking to Roger Moore or whoever that man's is.
Lazenby.
Hey, listen. There's 15 minutes of guys on horse. Sign me up.
100%. 100%. Dude, you know what? You start off a movie with they've blown it all sky high.
I was listening to that because I watched that movie this morning. Yeah. That was going on. That was just on repeat. That was an
absolute tune. So it starts off with the movie. The movie opens up with they're at Uluru. And there's drug deals. There's deals of some kind going down.
That was a wild opening scene as well.
So this man is getting chased. Sammo Hung is getting chased up Uluru, which is a culturally insensitive thing to happen.
Yeah.
We don't.
No, that's right.
What's called that here?
You can't climb that anymore.
You can't climb that anymore, and you shouldn't have been able to climb it back then. But
no,
it does make for a pretty wild opening scene. There's helicopters. There's people running up Uluru, falling down Uluru.
There's a guy who's in a car and he's not getting chased by any other car and he manages to crash.
The best thing about that guy who's in a car not getting chased by any other car is when he runs into that car, he jumps onto the roof.
Does he?
Takes a couple steps, then jumps down and gets in the car. Dude, it was wild. Like, he didn't have to be running like that, but he did. He chose to for the viewer.
But he knew he didn't have that much time to live.
He didn't have that much time to live because, there's no time to die. But he then drives away. All this stuff happens. And then it cuts to a person wind sailing. What do you call that?
Kite surfing.
It ain't kite surfing, but they're essentially they got a kite.
It's like, you fly a kite, but instead of flying it, there's a person on the kite.
You're on the kite.
Yeah, and it's a bigger kite than traditional kites.
And this lady is flying around Hong Kong, while the titular man from Hong Kong is just beating people up at
which is you can't.
He's beating people up at like some police.
They're secret police or something.
Yeah. And while that's happening, they've blown it all sky high.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was a foreshadowing.
And they blew it all sky high.
To finish this movie, bro.
You said there's a reason why it's got 100% on the Rotten Tomatoes.
Vincent said that this is B grade kung fu and B grade martial arts. And yes, there are elements of this issue is very B grade. And the elements that I'm saying is that, you know, I could be standing there and throwing the kicks that these people are throwing, and I do not have much martial arts training. And look, this is a time where it's the 70s. It's Ozploitation. They just got people who look fit and who are Asian to just do martial arts stuff.
Yeah.
And then George
Because they were
Lazenby.
probably racist like a lot of this movie.
That's right. The thing that I still liked about this movie is regardless of how bad the martial arts was, they always filmed it for the entire piece.
Yeah.
Like they were back. You could
said,
see everything going
This
on.
is bad. We want you to see all of it.
Yeah. Now, it works in a good movie like The Raid,
Yeah.
right? It works in a good movie like The
But
Raid, which
this
we're doing
movie-
that next week, by the way, because I
I
was
already had
thinking
a
about
movie for next week. But that's all right.
what is it? The Man from Somewhere Else?
No, it's Millennium Actress.
I ain't doing all that.
You're doing
that.
that.
sounds like some sort of smart anime.
No. I'm telling you.
Is this anime?
It's anime, yeah.
Nah, dude.
You're doing it.
Dude, I'm not
Brother,
sitting here
listen
looking
to
at
me,
anime.
Listen to me. I watched damn Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I watched The
Unreal
Exorcist.
movie, first of all. Exorcist, even better.
Nah, I watched
And
all
also,
this.
I'm talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2020 version. The original one, like, pretty good. I fell asleep in it. But the 2020 version, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen.
We're watching that.
2020 version.
No, Millennium Actress. Because there's one thing I want to talk about, and I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are.
So you're just waiting for that one moment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're doing Millennium Actress.
Not next week. The week
Actress?
after. Actress. Don't worry. I'll hook you up. We're doing The Raid next week.
Oh, yes.
The Raid.
Yes. Dude. But then there's movies like The Man from Hong Kong and also Star Wars, The Last Jedi, potentially, in which sometimes you shouldn't be filming from this far back.
But, you know, I think it works because overall this was a comedic movie because it was very dumb.
And also, like, you kick a man and he does like 3 flips.
There were about 4 shots of the Frankenbeans.
Of actual Frankenbeans?
Did you see? No. 4 shots, as in hits.
Oh, right. Because I was thinking, I didn't see any Frankenbeans in this movie.
No.
And for me, that's a plus, but I didn't see the Frankenbeans.
Yeah, you're always on the lookout.
Well, one of the best parts of the Frankenbeans squish is, or hits, is that the titular man from Hong Kong is getting strangled by a telephone cord. And he's on his last breath. He's about to die. I'm thinking, how does he get out of this? He grabs and squeezes the Frank and the beans. And I mean, like, if you're talking self-defense, you go there first.
Yeah, but he did that in self-defense. He did that in you know, let's attack straight away to the beans, mate.
But when your life's on the line, there's the beans there, there's the Franks there, you go for them.
I mean,
that's just
he went for him.
He went for them. And that was hilarious. I can't remember any of the other Frank and or Beans moments.
No, there was just a few that he just kicked people in the beans.
Yeah.
That's about it. Let's
and
talk.
like some people pay for that.
Some people pay for that. And we're getting paid to watch that.
We're getting paid to watch that. And also we're not paying for it because we're on Canopy.
That's right.
Because we're just respecting the services from the library.
The libraries. Shout out the Adelaide Public Library system.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, the Adelaide Public Library system has hitters on it. Dude, it's got hitters on it.
Is that so?
Dude, if Canopy want to sponsor this podcast, and like no one's listening to this part of it, but if Canopy want to sponsor this podcast,
yeah,
I'm 100% in. Because I was scrolling through all the horror movies,
yeah,
and I was like, dude, I've only heard.
You're saying we do Canopy over the rest of the sponsorships that we've had offered.
Yeah,
us.
because we didn't think that they were legitimate, and also we didn't think that they were ethical.
Yeah.
Because we're ethical people over here.
That's right.
And if I'm doing deodorants, it has to be El Natural. You know what I mean?
All right, let's talk about the start of this movie again.
Okay, The Man from Hong Kong.
So it's hilarious because you're going through this. We've blown it all sky high. They're singing, and I watched the music video, and it's the drummer. The drummer is singing. He's doing drumming and singing.
Wow!
And he's just drumming, and he's just smiling, and it's just the 70s, and it's fantastic.
Because no one's done that.
No one's done that,
and since or before.
Well, I haven't seen anyone do it.
Nah, it's crazy.
Lucky you didn't get the basketball out. And you've got that song. You've got this lady kite sailing or whatever over Hong Kong, which is a nice looking city because you got the rain, the forest, you got the trees, you got the skyscrapers, you got the pollution, you got all the things.
And she talks about those things actively.
And she talks about those things.
Yeah.
And then you've got it cut with this police officer who's he's in a shirt and pants, and he's just showing everyone else how it's done. Like, you shoot a gun, I'll shoot it better.
That's right.
You
He
come
does
and fight
shoot.
me, I'll fight 3 of you, and I'll piece you all up at the same time.
Yeah.
And I won't grab the beans because I don't need to at this point.
Wow.
Then this lady flies into their headquarters, and she's thinking, where am I? This man straight away he's putting the moves on her.
Dude, he does one thing he does. There's no safety protocols. He's like, you're in this area and I am this man. These are my credentials. Like, look me up.
The best part was he takes her to some lookout, which, I mean, you're in Hong Kong, you're there with the secret police or whatever. I'd be more cautious.
As a secret policeman or as the
both.
lady that did the thing? Because if I'm with the secret police,
That's a foreigner. She was a foreigner.
She was a foreigner, and that's foreign affairs.
And she's also a foreigner in Hong Kong. She's just landed in, that's illegal airspace, he said.
100%. Because, yeah, that's right. You can't just be kite surfing or sailing or whatever into, like, government properties.
No, that's right. But the best part about all of this was she asked, what's so special about, it's a special police or something, or whatever.
Yeah,
what's so special about the special police? And he's going, allow me to show you. And then it's just smart for 5 minutes.
It's just the next scene they're in bed.
They're just in bed.
And then, like, blown it all sky high and comes back on.
They've blown it all sky high. They're sweating.
Dude, I mean, you know what? If you're in Hong Kong, you're part of the special police. You've seen someone that's just been kite surfing, or you are the one that's kite surfing.
And look, I don't want to criticize anyone for their actions.
You're not talking about the moves, man. You can't be talking about the moves here. Like, 'cause that's each to their own.
Man's looked like he was going to inhale her whole face.
Like, some people like to use a Frankenbean, some people like to get kicked in them. And we can't judge either way.
Oh, that's right. But that was, I mean, I just imagine she's saying, "Oh, what's so special about this? I'll show you." Jesus Christ, what the hell is this?
The best thing about it is, like, there's no more smut in this entire movie.
There is. When he's on the horses.
Oh, when he's on the horses. Yeah.
Not at the horses.
No, but if it was with the horses, like, you would have really been thinking, like, things are wild here.
But really, he'll just say, "I'm the special police," and then that's it.
That's right.
You're in the bedroom next.
See, I forgot all about the horses, and that's the way it's going to be.
That's the way it's going to be.
This character, the character that is a kite surfer sailor, comes into it later, and this movie does a good thing with the kite surfing because he later uses that in the movie to infiltrate the dealer and find the supplier.
Yeah.
Who is George Lazenby. And I was thinking about a joke, about something lazy, and maybe it will come out later, but I can't think of it just yet. But this movie has some really funny moments in it. And I think some of them are just the fact that this is a man that has no rules, regulations. He's just running through Sydney and piecing people up.
And he'll kill a man.
100% he'll kill a man.
In front of a whole restaurant of people.
He'll kill a man. He gets stabbed multiple times.
He chops someone's arm off.
100% he chops someone's arm off. And I'd like to see him do it again in The Man from Hong Kong 2.
Did they do that?
They didn't do that. But if they did, like, I'd like to see it happen. I don't know if the guy could be dead. Was there any parts, like, I mean, other than those specific things?
All right, some highlights.
Yeah, hit me with the highlights.
Well, what else were the highlights of this? Honestly, I was laughing throughout most of this movie. I thought it was hilarious.
It was 100%. It was 100% a laugh.
What's his name? Robert Keays-Ford. What was that dude's name?
Yeah. Hugh Keays-Byrne.
Hugh Keays-Byrne. He was hilarious.
Yeah, because he's
got fantastic hair. Just
the wild,
just the
wild,
the
hair.
mane, absolute mane.
Yeah.
And he's just always saying, like, "Mate, it's Sydney. You can't do that here." Yeah, and man just keeps doing it.
He was saying that, but he was also saying, like, stuff that was I was about to start.
Was racist.
Yeah.
That was one thing. I think I said that to you before. I think I was talking to my brother. This movie had so many, racial stereotypes and stuff in it that, I mean, I guess they were trying to make it for comedy. But even if I was racist, they weren't funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you aren't a racist, so maybe, like, you don't know the perspective of racists.
I mean, maybe
like,
racists,
they'll be laughing at anything. Like, heads that are mean to people will find things that are not funny just because they want to be over the top of those people.
Well, I guess I'm not a racist, so
you're not a racist. One of the hilarious bits with if we're talking stereotypes is that there's an investigation going on, and they're like, "Hey, we've got to go talk about this investigation. Let's go to the pub." And the two like Australian detectives go to the pub and they're playing pool.
Did you see when they were playing pool?
They're like doing cheats in front of each other.
But then, I don't know, one of them was just hitting the ball with their hands. Then they were both hitting them at the same time. And it's just...
And I think that was, this is Ozploitation. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to keep people in the theatres excited and in there hollering, hooting. Right? And I think that this is what this movie is doing from the very start.
Except for the 15-minute car chase scene at one point where it was just no dialogue and they were just driving on a road for a good 15 minutes.
And then one person crashes and then another person crashes and then the man moiders. Yeah. He actively moiders this guy who's just sitting in a car like he's already pieced up because he's been in an accident.
He's already pieced up. He crashes into it. The car is in flames. Dude is burning. The man from Hong Kong gets out the car. You're burning on the ground. Yep, 5, 4, 3. Yep, you're dead. Check. All right, let's go. Let's go to Sydney.
He looks at him. I don't know if he gives him the finger or something. I can't remember. He does something.
Did you say, what about the funniest part about that was the car chase. They were just other civilians, just bystanders doing Australian things, like putting signs out the window.
Signs out the window?
Yeah, as in
Oh, he's flicking the bird. Yeah,
flicking the bird.
Yeah.
And then man gets driven off the road and he crashes into a river.
Yeah. And the funny thing is he crashes into a river.
And does it again.
And he does it again, but like they seem like it's only a minor inconvenience. Like there's a lady that gets run off the road during this car chase and she's like, man, I can't believe I got run off the road. Like again.
Someone's car goes into the ocean.
And I mean, if your car's going to go anywhere, you may as well send it to where it's going to go eventually. Because everything's going to go in the ocean eventually.
Because sea level's rising.
Get it there first is what I'm saying. Be the first one to do it. Be the first one to put it together is what I'm trying to get at. This movie was fun. I'll never watch it again.
No, I'll never watch it again.
One thing I would do again, and I recommend everyone to do, is to listen to Blown It All Sky High.
Yeah. Oh, geez. That is an absolute banger.
So this movie ends, George Lazenby is the bad guy. He's the head honcho behind all these drug deals and things.
Yeah.
And he's the classic drug dealer who knows kung fu,
and has a really nice moustache.
He's in a penthouse. He has, it's all these buildings, but it's all these rooms. But at the very top, he has this like decked out martial arts space with knives and
so he's a kung fu master as well.
He's a kung fu master himself. And then there's also a safe with drugs, grenades, machine guns, all sorts of things in there. So he's the typical drug dealer who knows martial arts. This movie ends with the titular man from Hong Kong, landing on the roof using the Blown It All Sky High method, which is the aerospace engineering, whatever we've termed it as. That's patent pending. And then he proceeds to go in there and they have a fight for maybe 8 minutes until George Lazenby just starts getting buoyant. Like he turns on fire.
Yeah, but then he just takes his jacket off and he goes, "Oh, we're not on fire anymore."
George Lazenby actually did that stunt.
That's wild.
And
they didn't give him another James Bond movie?
Don't call him Lazenby. You know what I mean? He did that stunt himself.
Bro, and I'm so glad we got that joke. We had to wait for it, but the payoff was sweet. Just like the end of this movie. When George Lazenby's he's knocked out. He's knocked clean out.
Yeah.
The man from Hong Kong.
This should be called the maniac from Hong Kong.
He's going in. He's just piecing people up. He's just killing folk.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. Half of them, there's just no reason as to why.
Well, I mean, he just kill them because they're in his way.
I guess that's true.
Like if you're in a dojo and there's knives, I'm going to stab you with it is what the maniac from Hong Kong says.
Yeah. Yeah, but it ends with Lazenby's knocked out. He then tapes a grenade into his mouth.
Yeah.
Then when he comes to consciousness, he says, "Hey, write this confession about everything. My guy, you're a policeman."
He says, not only does he say, write this confession and sign it, he says, I'm going to take one piece of paraphernalia from this space, and that is going to be the evidence. And then the rest is going up in flames.
But, what, my man, a confession under duress is not a confession.
Yeah, but, this is the man from Hong Kong.
Yeah, so I don't know why
in an exploitation film.
I don't know why he didn't just pull the pin and say, "Well, see ya," because he did that anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
And
so tell him where he throws them as well.
He throws them into the safe, which has all the paraphernalia, the gold bars, the guns, the other mines and whatever. There's mines in there.
There's mines.
I don't know who's laying trip mines in the middle of Sydney.
Dude, I'm talking about Lazenby's doing it. Quilton.
dude, someone's just trying to get to the opera house to play like, a flute, and man just steps on a landmine.
That's it for him.
Because he got too close to Lazenby's house.
Dude. And I mean, don't call him that.
Don't call him that. Don't call him that.
So Lazenby just goes up, like he blows up, and the top of this apartment complex, whatever, blows up, and then the song kicks in again. And the police officers down there are laughing at, saying like, hey, we finally got rid of Wilton. Laughing about the fact that like this man died and possibly many other people in that building.
In the building, yeah.
Who were just, who were just lackeys for Wilton. And then Blown It All Sky High starts playing again.
And, like the Lazenby Payoff, this was just as good.
Yeah, 100%. So I would say I went through phases of this movie. The initial part, I was like, oh, this is pretty exciting. And then it sort of was a lull for a lot of it. When there was the fight in the restaurant in which the man squeezes the other man's frankenbeans, like that was pretty good. But then there was a lot of a lull.
Well, then it was because he gets sliced up, and he then hitches a ride with two young girls, which is going, nah, I'm a good man, like help me.
Yeah. He does a lot of stuff and just off good faith. And I mean, that's the Australian way.
But you say, hey, I'm special police. Oh, what's so special?
That's right. You'll pick up a couple of hitchhikers, brother.
But then he goes,
and like, you know what's happening next.
But I mean, then he's on a horse. You know what I mean? And it literally turns into some weird montage of him and this girl that just picked him up off the side of the road.
The veterinarian's daughter. And that may or may not be a show already in Australia. That might be McLeod. Man. If it's not a show, we got to make it a show. The veterinarian's daughter. And it's just like, there's a horse that comes in, like the veterinarian's like, I can't do this horse all by myself. Veterinarian's daughter comes in. That's an episode. We've written an episode right here live on the podcast.
We've done it. George and Jerry took too long.
They're talking about AI, like watch out for what it's doing to the community. We've done this. We did that quicker than AI could have thought of it.
Jeez.
So let's get into what you were talking about with making love on the horse.
It was just hilarious because it was a good 10 minutes of just a montage of him and this girl being really romantic together, and they were doing weird couple things. And then
like going for walks and then
going for walks,
licking ice creams and things.
Having picnics, doing weird charades.
This guy must take at least a week to get better.
Oh, it has to be.
Right? Because he's been stabbed multiple times. He has to at least take a week to get better and do like, now I'm dating this lady.
He's doing romantic things. And then he goes into the city and they run him off the road and she dies.
And they've blown it all sky high.
High.
And, we go through that and it's phases of life when things get blown all sky high.
And it's... Jeez. This is like an 8 out of 10 movie. Just
I was going to say, let's do the rating of it.
It's an 8 out of 10.
I can't give it an 8 out of 10. I'm going to have to just give it a flat 6. Like, it was fun enough, but like there wasn't enough blown it all sky high moments for me.
Oh, but they blew it all sky high. That was the man from, but this is the podcast where we.
That's exactly right. Talk soon.